Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to have a look at logging into an AWS instance using SSH. It's really more about the technology behind SSH rather than the cloud VM. So this will work quite happily with Azure VMs, GCP VMs, and probably Oracle VMs as well. Though I haven't tried GCP or Oracle. As I say, it's because it's SSH, it should be okay. I'll also have a few words to talk to you about putty as well. Some older versions of Windows Server don't support SSH. You can't download and install it. Uh, Most modern versions of Windows do support it, and there I'm talking about Windows 10 and 11. Windows 7, 8 XP, they don't support it. There might be some versions you can download from some vendors, but out of the box Windows, no, it's Windows 10 and 11. So we'll go through how to do that. I should really call the video the state of logging in through Windows in um, October 2024 because it does change. For example, there wasn't SSH 5 years ago on Windows. It was never mentioned, but it is there now, so it does get a mention. So what I've done is I've actually set some code up as well, because we need to be able to manipulate the key files that we create. So we have a repo here. Uh, all you need to do is, and I shall put this in the contents. So we'll copy that. We'll just go to a little prompt I've set up, folder called videos. We do git clone, clone, git clone. We bring that in, so off it goes. Lovely. So we have our little folder there, Windows SSH keys. So we'll just log into that, into there. There's two little bat files and the make file, of course. These are the bat files that we'll use to manipulate the files. So what we need to do first is to actually set an instance up. So we'll create a new instance. We'll launch instance. This changes daily as well. So you found the launch instance. So we'll call this instance demo 1. I'm going to use Ubuntu because in a later video we'll be using Ubuntu rather than the Amazon Linux. So we have that, 64-bit of course, standard parameters really. It's going to be micro. If you have got a free account set up, you can use that. This is out of free tier now. So what we can do here is we can create a new key pair. The key pair is actually a public and private key. So the public key gets stored on the instance and the private key gets downloaded to your machine automatically. So we'll just do this and we'll talk about that as well and why you might not want to do that. And they're the files that have the weird permissions that we need to sort out. So we'll create a new pair. I've called this instance demo 1, so I'll call the key pair demo 1. We're going to download it as a PEM file. Now, this, if you're only ever going to use putty, you can download that. Though I think puttygen will actually allow you to convert from PPK, which is putty private key, into PEMs, which you can use. But I'm just going to go straight forward and just do it as a PEM file. So we'll create the key pair. There we are. It's downloaded. So we'll do that. We don't need to change anything else to this because we're not going to do a great deal with this instance. So we'll just leave everything there. What I will do is, because I'm quite cheap really, we'll go for a magnetic root volume. And if I do have this running for any length of time, I'm going to have the minimum on there. As I say, this is not a free instance anymore. So we'll launch the instance. Doesn't usually take very long. It usually takes quite a long time to launch an instance, but we usually get them running quite quickly. In fact, it's running now. Right. So if we have a quick look at the downloads folder, we should in there have our key. So there's our private key. If you use the command icackles, so always forget how to spell, and we do demo1.pem, these are the permissions that you have on the file. I've got full permissions there. So that's me. That's my login. And really, I think it shouldn't work because it should work because it gives full permissions to everybody else who's an administrator. So the NT authority, the built-in, so that's fine. this is my domain, my admin. I've created the file, so I get full permissions. If you create a normal file, just any file here, so you don't, I'll just call it touch because you don't have the touch command in Windows. So we do that. We'll have to do greater than, of course. And we do that, so we have the file. And we do iCackles demo1.pem. And we get exactly the same permissions. If I actually type the file name right. All right, so I called it touch. There we are, and we get the same permissions on there. Now, as I say, this file is a private key, so you can have a look at it. So there we are, say private key. Keep that to yourself. Don't ever let anybody have that, as I quite openly show you here, but I will delete it before I post the video. So we have that. Now, when we go to the instance, again, we'll just go back to here. We'll open it up, and there's the IP address that we need. So I'll just copy that to the clipboard. We'll go over to here. So here we are, just in my node where I downloaded the code. So to use SSH to log in, the SSH is the command. The identity, then we'll give it the name of that file that we just downloaded, which is that, and it's download/ there we are, demo1.pem. Why don't you like that? And that's because I haven't given it the user. So when you log into the Ubuntu free tiers, you have to use the username Ubuntu. Then we give it the IP address, which is the public one, the public IP address from Amazon of the instance we just created. When you use this with the likes of the Amazon instances, that Ubuntu would actually be EC2-user, and that's what you'll normally see in things like tutorials. They'll use the Amazon one, but you need to use this for an Ubuntu user. The other instances have different names as well. Just do a Google and you'll find those out. I'll show what happens if you don't use the right username. So there we go. You always get this your first time you use the instance. So it's doing all the magic stuff in the background now. There we go. So we're actually logged into that instance now. Now, if I come out of here and just to give you that quick demo, if you don't specify Ubuntu, so if you did do EC2-user, permissions denied. It's not telling you the username's wrong, just says denied. So that's fine, really. So you get that. Now, as I say, I've downloaded the file into there, so there's only me got access to that. Now, if I copy that key over now, if I copy that user's key, that PEM key, can't type and talk at the same time, admin /downloads, so that's demo1.pem. There we are. So we have that file. Whoops. Man. We have that now. So we have our demo1 key. So I can do the iCackles again. Demo1.pem. We'll have a look. It's I always type this wrong. It's cackles. iCackles. Demo1.pem. There we go. So you can see it's now actually changed the permissions. So the two NT authorities, they get it. The adminers get it. And the built-in users get it. They can do a read. The I means how it's inherited. So if we try and log in now with the SSH, so what we can do is, right, we'll go to the next one. We don't need to see that failing again. So now we've got a local file. Demo1. There we go. Now this is the error you get. Permissions denied. And that's because the keys are too broad. You also get this on Linux as well. So it'd be quite nice if it actually told you what to do, but that's what the purpose of this video is, to show what we're going to do. Now, the batch files are downloaded. The first one is called remove. remove.bat. It's a very big VM, but it's often very, very slow. There we go. So yeah, this bat file is just going to remove those permissions. There's a couple of links there if you want to understand about the inheritance. It's NTFS it's a hugely complex file system. It's most people just think, yeah, you just use files, but if you're going to use files in your application, you need to make sure they are secure, and you use these ACLs they're called, or ACE sometimes. That's how you do it. So what we'll do is we have to stop that inheritance, and we saw the in brackets I, so we stop getting any inheritance, because when you create a file in Windows on NTFS, it actually inherits the permissions from higher up directories. So you can create a folder, give it the permissions, and every file within there will have those specific permissions, rather than giving each one an individual permission, which is good really. So we remove the inheritance users, then use the iCackles to remove those two users. We'll talk about SSH keygen in a second, but there are another couple of users which you could remove. You don't have to. Sometimes you might. I haven't come across where you needed to, but the line's there. If you need to do it, just take out the rems and it'll do it. Then we explicitly put the permissions for my username I'm logged into to be able to modify the file. And then we'll just do a quick demo. We'll just show the permissions on there. So if I go back to here, so we'll go remove, and then we just do demo1.pem. Does its thing. So there we are. We have a very reduced set of permissions now. We only have modification by me. So if I now go into our little Ubuntu VM, happy as a sandboy now, which is exactly what you want. Again, as I say, if you did it from the downloads folder, not a problem. You can do that. But if you do need to copy it around, you will get that error. So you do need to make sure that everything's okay. So that's it for downloading through an actual created key, an Amazon created key. So what we'll do in the next part of the video is we'll create a new instance and we'll upload the key ourselves. So I've just stopped the video while I just terminated the instance. So what we need to do now is we can create our own what they call key pairs in Amazon. I think they call them key pairs everywhere else. It's a bit of a misnomer really, because you only upload the public key. That's the only thing which gets seen on the Windows side. Sorry, on the Amazon side. If you create them as we did in the first part of the video, Amazon create that private key, and that's what's downloading that file. So Amazon do see it at some stage. I mean, that they absolutely won't do anything with it. But security organizations sometimes say, well, actually, we'll create the keys. We'll control that. So what you can do is you can create I've created the second little batch file, which is called make a key. And this will call SSH keygen and will actually create the public and private key. So we just need to run make a key, and we'll call it demo 2. Lovely. Doesn't take very long to do at all. So we'll just have a look. So demo 2. That again, that's the private key, and this is our public key. So again, that's the one that we need to upload. So before we create the instance, we can go to key pairs. And I think another advantage of using key pairs is you can actually you can upload it many times, because as soon as you create if you get Amazon created, it only lets you download it once. So if you lose that key, you're not totally stuck, and we'll do another video on how to get around that. But if we just go through the normal conventional ways of doing things, you'll see. So there's our one from the last part of the video. So key pairs. So we'll choose actions, I think it is. Yeah, import a key pair. So we'll call this demo 2 as before. So I need to browse to that folder, which is under Windows, and it's under videos. It's Windows SSH keys. There's our demo2.pub. That's the file it wants. So we'll say, yeah, we'll upload that. So open. Nicely copies it in. Happy with that. Demo2, and we say, there we go. So we have it's nicely uploaded now. So go back to instances. Come on. And we'll launch another instance. And we'll call this demo 2. And we'll choose Ubuntu again. We'll scroll down if we possibly can. Yeah, we'll use a micro. So the key pair we're going to select as the one we uploaded. So we have demo 2. Again, I'm not going to change anything apart from being totally bean. We're going to go back to standard disks and we'll launch that instance. Hopefully it'll launch as quickly as the last one did, then I don't have to edit the video. So we'll go into there. There we go, nicely running. We could just paste in the key from there, but I just like to let the laptop do it. So we'll say we'll copy that into here, into our little user again. So say we have the demo 2. So what we can do now is we can say SSH identity demo 2. We'll leave that file, and then Ubuntu and that IP address. Now, this should work because the SSH command, the SSH keygen, actually creates it for us. Can take a while sometimes. This. Why are you taking this long though? Possibly is still initializing. It's not. It's just not playing very fair at the moment. Yeah, timed out. We'll have another go. Yeah, took a little while, but there we go. Let's do the yes. And the permissions are fine. They're absolutely fine on that device. Now I'm going to show you something which might be useful for you as well. We'll just come out of this for a second, and then we'll just do the eye cackles again, just to show you what was going on. So we say demo 2. There we are. So this is where I got the values for my little batch file to do it. So we take it from there. Now I'm just going to create another key pair, and I'm going to call this demo 3. There we go. So we have all that. Demo 3. Now, if I try and go into this instance again, yeah, denied. This is, well, you just created some random file, haven't you? Now, what we can do is we can copy that the public key it's created, just demo 3 in this instance. Just show you that. So demo3.pub. Yeah, there we are, and there's our admin user. That's basically the name of the key pair. So we get that. Now, I always show people this. So if you would type the file and take it to the clipboard, it's quite happy now. This actually works across, if you're running a VM as I am, this is a Windows VM that I'm running, you can actually do it from a local device and it will work unless it's been turned off by your local admin. So it should be fine actually. So I have our demo 3 pub there. So we'll just pop back into the instance. So we'll go back to demo 2. It takes forever. There we go. Right. So here's the user we're in. This is our home user. Now, if you do an ls, there's nothing there. An ls-long, nothing there. If you do an ls-la, you see the hidden thing. So there's the SSH folder. So if we log into SSH, do that. It's okay now. You don't have to keep doing the A on it. So we've got permissions to edit this file. So authorized keys. So if I do a nano, which is usually on a machine, and we do authorized keys, there's our public key. So what we can do is we can actually put that demo 3 we did, so you can see it actually is a different key. We'll say yes, we'll save the buffer, we'll do an ls-l, and hopefully that will have grown a little bit, that file. So it'll grown from 722, whatever. Yeah, so that's quite a little big file there. So we'll come out of here. So remember that was demo 3 that we call that. So if we now try and log in demo 3, and we're in the instance. So you can use that to give different people different private keys. So you might want to only let 2 or 3 people in, and when they leave the company, you can remove their private key. You can move that public key from the authorized keys files. They've no longer got access. It's just a little useful thing to know, and it's very useful if you need, or if you ever lose the private key. So we can fix that, and I will do a video on how we can do that. So that's how we basically do it on Windows these days. What I can do now is we'll have a look at how you can use putty. So I've said in a few previous times, you on older versions of Windows, which are still supported, but they don't support SSH. Windows 10, 11 do, so if you're running from a PC, you will be okay. Not with the likes of Windows 8 and whatever, just won't be there. So to use putty, you download putty, or it might be installed on your machine anyway, and you'll also need a utility called puttygen. Now what puttygen does is it can create keys, but also does convert keys. So using our demo 3 we've just used, so we'll fire up puttygen with the right number of T's. There we go. So we load in that key we've created. Now you'll notice it says, oh, I can't see anything because the default is putty private keys PPK. So we'll say we'll have all files, in fact. So it's demo 3, the private key we want. So you can see the public keys have got .pub on. So switch on the extensions. It's always useful, really. So we'll load in the private key. So we go in there, little message. Yeah, I've imported that. Then we just say we'll save it as a private key. I don't want to give it a passphrase, so we'll say I'm okay with that. So we'll just click yes. And now we have to give it a while. So we're now in our nice directory. So we'll actually call it demo 3 putty private key, and we'll save that. So we're now finished with puttygen, so we can come out of that. Quick dir. There we are. Where are we? Demo 3 PBK. So we'll now fire up putty itself. It's just a terminal emulator. It's very, very good. People do use it all over the place. So we have to give, as we did before with the when we use SSH, we have to give it the username here. And you don't have to. I think if you don't give it, it will prompt you for that user. Then we'll put in the private key. Whoops, sorry, the IP address. So we need to get that IP address. We'll do that. Go back into putty. Give it that, port 22, that's all fine. Right, we now have to give it the authentication. So you click SSH, you see that? So we click SSH under the connection tab. Then we click auth. So go there and then click credentials. So in here, this is where we need to put that putty private key we've just done. So we'll browse the folder Windows SSH keys, demo 3. It's there now. We saw it wasn't there before, so we'll load that up. We'll say open. And what you can do, interesting enough, is you go back to session, you can save it. So we can call this SSH3. We'll call it SSH3. We can save that. So you can come back to. I'll just give you a quick example of that in a second. So we just say, then we do open, and there we are, straight into the terminal emulator. So just to prove we're in the same place, so we go into SSH, and we'll more authorized keys, and there's our 2 keys. There's the first one, there's the second one. So we can come out of that. As I say, we can go straight back in. So we'll go to putty again, and there's our SSH3 we did. We'll load that, and then we'll do an open, and there we are, quite happily connected. So really, that's all there is to it on Windows. Linux is a bit easier. I'll do another video on using Linux and how to do it under WSL on Windows as well. There's some settings you need to put into WSL metadata to make that work. So that's it, guys. So thanks for watching again. I always like a like or a subscribe. But until the next one, where we'll probably talk about installing Docker onto the Ubuntu VM. So until then, that's it for this evening. I'll see you later, guys. Cheers.